You might, I don't know what's going to come out my mouth if my bets start losing, because like you don't want to see it. But I'll do it just for entertainment. I'll do it for entertainment purposes, though. But
well, I think what we should do is during the World Cup, we'll do the watch vlog and we'll have like a Chris cap. And we'll have what stakes you put up on the screen, and we'll sit there saying, oh, like they've just scored the last minute try. We moved down to Chris. You just see somebody beating up a PC and throwing hands.
You should have seen I was dating a Polish girl a couple of years ago, and I was watching the box New Zealand, and she couldn't. I don't know. That was maybe the beginning of the end. She couldn't understand this, what this was about. Like, how can I be so emotional?
She watched one more game and she was like, whoa.
You've never shown this passion in bed, Chris. Where's this coming from?
Yeah, she was like, where was this last night, man? A week later, she's there in a box jersey, like, right, come on. Right, there we go. And also, just for interest's sake, we will also have a tracker on for Ireland versus Italy. So those trackers for New Zealand, Australia, and Ireland versus Italy will be on Forever Rugby. So it is a nice opportunity to follow the match if you can't watch it live. We will have how to watch matches on the channel tomorrow. It's a bit complicated for the Players of the Cup and the SA games. Much more straightforward for the Summer Nation series, which is being shown on RTE and Amazon Prime as well, which has got, by the way, elite coverage. Amazon coverage is wild. The panels are cool. It's very, very cool coverage. So the box will be on there in 2 weeks' time for those 2 warm-up games. And the good news as well, by the way, is you'll be able to watch the entire Rugby World Cup for free using a VPN. Check out Bitdefender, check out ExpressVPN. Both of them are in the description there. I'm going to put the description in for World Sports right now into the comments, and go and get your bets in for this weekend. Just before I wrap up and say cheers to the gents, before some of them go into load shedding, I'm going to look at some of the comments over here, pick out a couple of the interesting ones. And Contender earlier was saying, I think they may take both Inyakani and Detoy instead of Dweba and have Dion Free go as somewhat of a Skulk Brits role, which Dion Free does not like those comparisons, by the way. Play flank for most games, I won't be surprised if he has 2 versus Romania. Doug was saying, we played for Rugby Championship last year in Durban and played cuck. Not wrong. Krista saying, the reality is that we are not on the same level as the Irish, All Blacks and French teams. We simply don't have the informed players to do it in the World Cup. Adam says it's got to be de Klerk and Andre by far the best choice. Talking about the sort of 9-10 situation. Will saying Kubis will be super hungry. Hope he has a great game. The heart says we beat France on the last game. We're all for that. And then Ahmed earlier says, how can the box beat the All Blacks? If them physically and tackle them like demons, really. It's about the only way we can. You slip tackles against New Zealand. Yeah. As Will says, the only way is to outscore them. Have to bring the backline power. Gentlemen, before we wrap up, I want a Argentina-South Africa prediction from all of us. And if anyone predicts an Argentina win, they will be kindly, and in fact not so kindly, uninvited from future fan forums. So, we'll start with you and work our way back towards myself. What are you going with the score prediction?
South Africa by 6.
South Africa by 6. Close game. Close game down in Buenos Aires. Chris, closer, further apart, easier, harder?
No, 32-25. Book win.
By 7, okay. So still sitting at a relatively conservative. Yeah, and now Wes?
I was going to say South Africa by 5. So even tighter there.
Yeah,
Chris, I'm bringing my money, buddy.
Yes. Put it on. Show us the slips, mate. Show us the slips.
We're just gonna have like the box jersey next week on, but like the actual like $2,500 box jersey, gonna be sitting there going, "Told you guys, by 6, easy work."
5, 6, 7.
Yeah, man.
You're the decider, Steve.
I'll be a bit more risky. I'll go box by 10. Joseph will have a try as well. That's what I'm going to try and manifest. Who knows?
Well, he's throwing in skills. He could just throw it to himself from the line out, and he can get over.
Hey, we saw people going short and going down the short side and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of players, a lot of questions to answer this weekend. And next week, we actually be talking about a World Cup squad. In fact, we might have to actually look at throwing together a bit of a fan forum on Tuesday to discuss the World Cup squad. Which is going to be very, very cool. So I make no promises, but maybe, ladies and gentlemen, we might actually see you even sooner, because I think it would be a good idea to get everybody's thoughts on the 33 players that will be looking to defend the World Cup. But until then, we're going to leave you to go and watch all the other content. There's a Dion Free press conference. There are previews going up for all the games this weekend. Tomorrow we will have the captain's press conference, which will be Bongi, who always speaks very well and very sort of warrior-like when he goes to a game, as well as Ndila Stick, who's a laugh a minute. And then this weekend, check out all the guys on the Watchalongs. You won't see me on Saturday. I'll see you guys on Monday again. And I'm off to go and play some really, really bad golf. And leave the watch-alongs to you, to the two guys here, as well as Carl. Chris, thanks for the
Shoulder
best.
warm-ups, Steve. Shoulder warm-ups.
Yeah, don't stress. I've been sort of at the range all week. Might have to have a young physio session tomorrow just to sort of really work out the knots. Might have to have a couple of beers tomorrow night to really loosen the swing out. But
There's absolutely no excuse. Oh, Rudy's gone.
Rudy's gone with the
Goes
load
Rudy.
shedding. Oh, there's the load shedding. That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. Well, chaps, before anything else happens like that, keep well. Chris, I look forward to a winning week. And Wes, we will see you guys all on Wales versus England. Everybody else, please do smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for joining us. As always, this is also available as a podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms. So if you're just joining us now, go and check it out there. And we will see you guys all. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, Wales versus England. The Summer Nations series officially really kicks off this weekend. There was a match last weekend, but they literally termed it week 0. This is week 1. And all the sort of the Six Nations teams in action before a lot of teams venture over to Europe. And we really get quite an exciting Summer Nations fixtures about the next month, for the month of August. And after that, we kind of go straight into the World Cup. So these are the official sort of the warm-up fixtures that has been coordinated by World Rugby, as well as sort of the Six Nations board and stuff like that, or in creating the sort of the Summer Nations series, and lots of very exciting matches. This match in particular, it will be in Cardiff. Wales will be hosting England, and Steve Borthwick naming an interesting side. Warren Gatland naming a very interesting combination, a fly half and a sort of halfback combination, which will be very interesting to see, as well as sort of interesting to see how Warren Gatland is going to really try and get this Welsh side from being basically nowhere a little under 3-4 months ago to being a competitive side come the World Cup. Now, before we look at the two teams, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We'll start with the Welsh side, who are at home, and they've got a new captain. Life after Alan Wynne-Jones, life after Justin Tipperick, two of those players who I think we all expected to be at the World Cup, retiring quite sort of a shock retirement in about May. And I think that was probably sort of the first couple of sort of major red flags about the situation within the Welsh camp. But anyway, all these sort of players are going to have to sort of really put all that the outside noise aside and try and sort of mount a bit of a World Cup campaign. And very interesting, we have got a double debut in the front row, both props on full international debut for Wales. Corey Domachowski and Kieran Azarati will get their first opportunity in a Welsh shirt next to Ryan Lyce, who is going to have to be a bit of experience between them, which he's not exactly a 100-cap campaigner, but he's going to have to really sort of pull together his sort of 30-odd caps and make sure that those two front rows go pretty well. In the second row, Daph Jenkins will partner Will Rowlands, who is about 2 games away, I think it is, from getting to the 25 cap sort of eligibility rule, where he can continue playing for Wales despite not playing in Wales. And I think he's a very important player. I was probably one of the standouts, not even just for Wales, but in the series last year against South Africa. Very impressed with him. And if they're going to do well in the World Cup, I think he'll be a very key cog in that pack. The young Christchurch gets another opportunity next to Jack Morgan, who will captain this side. Aaron Wainwright will start at 8th man. Halfback pairing of Gareth Davies and Sam Costello. Very exciting young fly half. And I tell you what, I think if he can really get going, I don't see why he couldn't actually really push for a starting place in that World Cup. I mean, he's 22 years old, very young, very inexperienced, but very exciting. And at the end of the day, I think this Welsh team are going to France with zero expectation. And so there must be a bit of a temptation to say, right, well, we can probably put together a couple of solid games and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're not really in a position to compete. Maybe you kind of roll the dice and you kind of look at players who are slightly different and bring a little bit of X factor, and maybe that can sort of create something a bit different to create a couple of surprise results. The wings will be Rio Dyer and Louis Rees-Zammit. In the centres, it will be Max Llewellyn and George North. Max Llewellyn getting his first cap for Wales. Very exciting inside centre, as well as Mason Grady on the bench, who's played just the 2 caps. So a lot of inexperience across the entire team. as sort of Warren Gatland does kind of decide on where he's at. George North partnering with him will be a nice addition. He will bring his 113 international. Right, and we are live. Good evening, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is Thursday. I don't know how it's Thursday again. I mean, this whole year thing is just, I feel like I'm just constantly talking to you guys. And that's nothing against you. It just kind of worries me about the kind of 7 days in between the time. Although at least, with Chris, I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. So, he is making the comeback. But as you can see, I am joined. I think he was brilliant at 10, for example, the Premiership. So a lot of options there for Borthwick. Off the bench, those there, Dan, Bevan, Rod, Carl Sinker in the front row. Then you've got Johnny Hill, Tom Willis, Jack van Portley, George Ford, and Henry Slade. So quite a few big names missing, the likes of Noah Owen Farrell, no Mario Toje, for example, no Tuolagi. So it's an interesting side, and they need to start showing something, don't they? This England side and this Welsh side are two sides that are with new coaches within the last year, made different appointments, and are still getting to grips with how things go. So it's a big opportunity for them to start sort of developing that style of play and what they want to bring into the World Cup. Let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's how to watch guide for the Summer Nations series, which really gets underway in all earnest this weekend. And the good news is there are a range of broadcasts which will be showing all the action throughout the rest of the month. Lots of cool sport on. In terms of the Summer Nations, this weekend we have got Scotland versus France, Wales versus England, Ireland versus Italy. Next weekend, England versus Wales. The box play against Wales, and it'll be on. So that'll be part of the Summer Nation series, as well as New Zealand games as well. So there's a whole bunch of games that's going to be part of the Summer Nation series. It's basically the Autumn Nation series, which is what the end of year tour has become, but now in August as a Rugby World Cup warm-up schedule. And the big question is, how can I watch all the action? Right, well, the good news is that, first of all, there are free-to-air broadcasters, and you can watch the entire week or month's coverage live on Amazon Prime with a free trial. However, these are only available for those in the UK or in Ireland. So if you're outside those territories, you can still use the same method I'm about to show you, but you're going to have to use a VPN. Now, we recommend using either ExpressVPN or else Bitdefender over there, which are one of our partners. They've got a very good functional VPN, which works very nicely. And basically what you're going to do, I'm going to show you how to use ExpressVPN. So first things first, you're going to go down into the description below. You're going to download your VPN. I'm going to show you what ExpressVPN looks like. And once you install, it's going to look something like that. You're going to go to these three little dots over here. That's going to bring up a bunch of locations. And you're going to go and select the UK. Once that is available, you're then going to go to I'm going to recommend using Amazon Prime because every single game is on there and you can get a free 30-day trial. So you're then going to go to Amazon Prime, amazon.co.uk, and then the Prime address there. And because you're connected through the VPN, it basically geolocates your device to make it seem as if you're in the UK. As a result, you can get access to the Prime thing. And there it is, these are all the Autumn Nations games and stuff like that. If I go to Scotland versus France, you'll see they're included with Prime. It goes live tomorrow. The nice thing about Prime is it's got brilliant panels. It's got really good coverage. It's got different languages, for example. And if you scroll over here, you can see there's the Wales versus that game, as well as in Welsh language. We keep going over here. There's just so many various games across the rest of the month, which is going to be really cool. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Certain games will be on RTE, which is a free-to-air broadcaster. So we'll be doing specific videos on those games, showing you how to watch. But apart from that, get yourself an Amazon Prime free trial. Get yourself a VPN so you can access it and watch all the action live throughout the rest of the month. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Apart from that, smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and I will see you guys next time.
Everyone, welcome here to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. My name is Wes. We do not have Steve with us this weekend. However, you are still going to get all the rugby you are after. So I am with you for the England versus Wales game, which is happening in about 7 minutes. But before we get to that, let's just have a quick chat about the game we just watched between Scotland and, well, I was about to say Italy. That was last week with Scotland and France. Now, you can say France sort of second side potentially. Definitely not a full strength French side, but have to give props where props is due. And I thought Scotland did incredibly well to come back in that second half. Pity they didn't play like that the full game. Potentially could have been a much sort of better scoreline for them. But good to see the Scots have got some fight in them. I think they'll ride that momentum well into the next game they have ahead of them. But let us then get on to today's game. So England versus Wales down in Cardiff at the Principality Stadium. So there's going to be a poll coming up in the chat. It's going to be just the one we start things off with. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it's going to be England? Do you think it's going to be Wales? Or do you think it's going to be a draw? We'll chuck in a third option there, potentially a win for Wales, a draw, or a win for England. Now, coming onto the screen, we see Lee Halfpenny run out onto the field. He gains his 100th cap for Wales. So huge congratulations to Lee Halfpenny. Really excellent stuff. He was on 99. He gains his 100th today. What an achievement for him. So he will be the starting fullback for the Welsh side. And yeah, what a servant of Welsh rugby he has been. Really nice to see them honouring him here there onto the field in the Principality Stadium. This has got to be his final song, no doubt. So having a look, the teams are coming onto the field. England and Wales are trotting out fantastic fireworks, flame display, as there always is down in Wales, sort of giving you that dragon sense of the feeling. So I see there the polls up in the chat. Hello to everyone. If you're just joining us, we've got England, Wales here down in Principality Stadium. Give us an answer there in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? Wales, England, or is it going to be a draw? To throw some facts your way, did my research this week. Having a look, the last 2 games, the last 5 games between these sides, England have won 4 out of 5. So England are sort of historically better, at least in the last 5 games, the most recent games. But interestingly, the last 7 games between these sides, the team going into the half with the lead tends to then win the game. So quite an interesting fact there. So it looks like with these sides, if you can get momentum early on, if you can have a strong first half, potentially that can see you through the second all the way to get that winning point there. Okay, so England have won the last 4 out of the 5 games between these two nations. But as I said, going into the half with more points seems to win you the game. Well, at least that's happened the last 7 games between these two sides. Having a look further, what else do I have for you? Oh, this was interesting. Well, not too interesting, quite sad, really. Wales, not too good at the Principality in most recent history. Here they've got 1 out of 8. So they've won only 1 out of 8 games at the Principality. We can sort of think of their Principality in the equivalent of sort of a, an Emirates sort of park here in Johannesburg for the Boks, the fortress we were speaking about last week. The Principality is very much that home ground for the Welsh side. However, not doing too well. It is their longest losing streak at home since 2013. But interestingly, again, they broke that losing streak against England. So potentially, could this be the game to help them break that losing streak? So the sides are lining up for the national anthems as we go. So once again, welcome to all of those who just joined us. We've got England and Wales. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like button on that video. It does help sort of get this out to other people, as well as subscribe if you are not a subscriber already. So here we've got a memorial for Clive Rowlands, sort of decorated and famous Welsh rugby player. Missed the dates there. Players paying their respect, both English and the Welsh sides. Welcome, welcome, guys. Let's get active in the chat. I've got the chat open here on my phone, so nice to see some of you sort of already putting in, come on, Wales, let's win this, from Richie Ori. I hope this game can live up to the Scotland-France game. Yeah, Mr. Fantastic AJ, absolutely. What a game that was. Definitely a second half. Okay, anthems being sung now. We've got the English national anthem first. And here we go. So going to be very, very interesting. What else have I got you here? England. Interestingly, okay, so we spoke about that these two sides, England have won the last 4 of the 5 games. However, in all games, England have only won the last 2 out of 7 games. So we know the English side not in the best form of their life. Same thing can be said about the Welsh side. So actually teams that we're seeing today have been quite interesting. There's been a lot of talk around the selections, lots of inexperience, but peppered in there with some experienced players for both sides now, for both Wales and England. It was really interesting just looking through the team sheets, and you've got, the centre pairing for Wales. You've got Max Llewellyn, plays his rugby out in Gloucester. He's making his debut today, but he's paired alongside George North there, obviously playing his 113th game. So there's a few pairings like that where you've got sort of very little experience and then paired up with a real experienced player. So quite interesting to see it this close to the World Cup. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think teams should be experimenting this close to the World Cup? Do you think they should? Welsh fans today, but hopefully Wales can pull out something. And I think, if I'm honest, kind of maybe shock everyone. Probably, if you had to push me, say England are the favourites potentially going into this game. But what can the Welsh do? Right, the anthems are over and the players are taking to the field. Yeah, very, very interesting for both sides. We've got life after Alan Wynne-Jones. So we get the Welsh team up here. We've got 2 debutants in the front row in Domachowski and Azarati, 1 and 3 respectively. And again, that peppering, you've got Ryan Elias at the hooker position there, quite well capped at 33 caps. Jenkins and Rowlands then centre pairings. And then your loose trio is going to be Jack Morgan, who's your captain, Chris Duzinger and Aaron Wainwright. And then the back's quite exciting there. Again, you got Gareth Davies, well experienced, and then Costello is the man at 10. I think lots of people, including myself, quite excited to see how he does. The English side, then we've got Genge in the captain position at number 1. Blamire, Stewart, Ribbons, Martin, Ludlam, Dombrandt, Pearson. So again, sort of lots of new blood being tried here. And then into the back, some really exciting players. We've got Kerr, Smith, Porter, Marchant, Malins, Cock and Singer, always fantastic with ball in hand. And then the ever-reliable Freddie Stewart rounding out the team. So very, very exciting. Getting the subs up on the screen now. And having a look there, we've got some more debutants on the bench as well. We've got Theo Dan for England at 16. We've got Tom Willis for England at 20, as well as Tane Plumtree at 20 for Wales. All right. Here we go. Minutes away, if not seconds, from kickoff. Jack Morgan, as I said, is your captain for Wales, taking over, or filling big shoes, both metaphorically and literally, of Alan Wynne-Jones. But he seems to be up for the task. If you guys haven't already, get your answers into that poll. Who do you think is going to win today's game? We got Nick Berry as a referee. Quite like Nick Berry. I say that because he's not currently reffing a South African side, but I do think he's quite good. We'll have to see, can he maintain that sort of level of quality he usually brings to the reffing platform. And here we go. Kickoff, Wales from right to left, deep into English 22. There we go. We've got a strong carry from the English. Lewis Ludlam taking it up outside of the 22. Danny Kerr poises to box kick, and up it goes. Good chase by England. Halfpenny on the ball, takes it down to ground, and Wales get it going out, crashing it up just over halfway. Gareth Davies in 9th position. There we go. Costello shoots it up. Wales give chase. As I said, Stewart solid under the ball. Catches it. Lands a bit awkwardly, though. But Danny Kerr at the base. England secure the ball. The English forwards crash it up, taking it down quite easily. No issues there. Danny Kerr seeming to be leaving a lot of instructions. So curious to see. Obviously, he plays with Marcus Smith, the Harlequin, so they should be well used to communicating with each other. Danny Kerr bombs it up. It's taken safely by Costello, and it's an English penalty, obstruction. So Kerr quite happy with that, giving the guys a nice clap. Didn't look too obvious there to me, but potentially might have missed something. Kerr giving a cheeky wink to the camera there, so sends it up. Wales seems in good position. However, it looked like potentially the man tracking back was getting in the English winger's way there. I missed it. He was chasing up after the ball. So England gain an early penalty within the Welsh half to the left of the field. Lots of chat from Kerr as always. We've got a Welsh player down at the moment, just getting some minor TLC. Hiya guys, welcome. Once again, pop your prediction in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? England, Wales, or do we think it's going to be a draw? Feel free as well in the comments. Say how's it. Let me know where you're coming in from, where you're tuning from. We've got Kel Usher worried my team will depress me. The Welsh team is an attractive lot. All right, Kel. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to steer clear of that one, but hopefully the team does not depress you. Hopefully they can bring you a result that makes you quite happy today. What else have we got here? Wales are desperate for depth. So okay to be experimenting, I think, but possibly too late. That's from Evan H. Yeah, depth is a real issue. It just feels like it should maybe have been, towards the beginning of last year, potentially, to try all these combinations. But it seems to be quite an interesting weekend for combinations. I mean, if you look at the Buck team that's going to play later today, this Welsh side, this English side, all seem to be quite experimental. Right, English line out, goes to the centre. Nice little wraparound move there. The hooker passes it off to, I missed that there. We got a nice big crash of the wing. Here it comes. English forwards moving up the field. Knock on. Wales scoop. Nice quick hands off the deck there. And can the Welsh exit safely? And the ref has called them back for the knock on. So I think it was a knock on from number 5, Martin. That was a nice line-up move by the English there. Sort of to the centre, coming down, faking them all, hooker wrapping round, and then either playing sort of one of the wingers coming off their wing or giving it out to the backs. I think it's going to have to make defenses work a bit harder there. But we have a scrum right in the centre of the field, but deep within the Welsh territory. Right, first scrum of the game, not even 3 minutes in, first scrum of the game. We're going to see how our 2 Welsh debutants in the front row are going to do. Once again, those are Corey Domachowski, who plays out in Cardiff, so home game for him, and Kieran Azarati, his opposite number as well, who plays in Cardiff, number 3, 1 and 3. Sort of sandwiching the experienced Ryan Elias there at 33. Okay, the scrum is reset. Just asking for some more space is Nick Berry. I'm sure there's a lot of nerves. Those forwards are wanting to get out. Cheeky smile there from, who was that? Looked like Kieran Azarati, number 3. Danny Kerr giving lots of chat to Gareth Davis. Just can't help himself, really. Just has to be talking. I think he combusts if he doesn't. So there is the engage. The scrum is once again going to be reset. Both teams clapping like they did something well. Who knows? Right, while we wait for the scrum, guys, just to let you know, if you don't already, we are partnered with some fantastic partners here on the channel. So all videos are brought to you by our channel partners. Forever Sports is partnered with Bitdefender, a global leader in cybersecurity. Bitdefender is committed to defending people all around the globe against cyber attacks to transform and improve their digital experience. So a big thank you to Bitdefender for sponsoring the channel. Right, we go for the 3rd time to the scrum. Once again, centre of the field, deep within Welsh territory, but it is the Welsh's ball. Right, the scrum holds. Davies feeds. Solid. Ball moves its way to the back. To Costello, and a good clearance kick. Although he doesn't find touch over halfway. Freddie Stewart with ball in hand. Oh, probing run. Nice step through. Excellent break there. English have got momentum now. Kerr feeds it out. Nice to the back, Marcus Smith. Again, sort of looking for options, looking for depth, looking for, where can they play this ball back to Smith? Here it goes out to the wing now, 2-on-1. It's a great run down the wing there by 14. Quick ball, and it is knocked on by the English into Welsh hands and cleared. I wouldn't say well, it looked like a bit of a charge down, but over Marcus Smith's head. So advantage over. England were looking really threatening there. Unfortunate about the knock on. Marcus Smith dancing like he normally does. No one seems to tackle him. Finally, we get a tackle. There's Jack Morgan there, finally bringing down Marcus Smith. Chris, as you know, making up for that missed tackle on Freddie Stewart. Don't know if it's a missed tackle, if he just steps you, though. I've been on the receiving end of that. England looked to have knocked it on again, so handling errors from England. And interesting forward pass by Louis Rees-Zammit there, trying to squeeze the ball out of the tight spot. So some exciting stuff there, potentially some signs into what England are going to look to do. Has been quite exciting. So this lovely run from Freddie Stewart. Oh, lovely step in and out. But well tackled by Gareth Davies there. Here we see it again. Fantastic, fantastic step. Right, guys, let me know. What are you thinking in the comments? What are we predicting? What are we feeling? How are we feeling? Let's have a look. Looks like a full house. Really hope they can lift the boys today. Mr. Fantastic AJ. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Principality never fails to deliver in terms of numbers or atmosphere. I know the Welsh love their singing, and that can really do something. But if you missed it earlier on, sorry, I'm just seeing we might have a substitute here. That seems quite early. 16. So potentially, yes, indeed. Could be Ryan Elias coming off here. Looks like a hamstring, potentially a glute, sort of the way he's limping a bit there. Motion to the back of his leg. That does not look good, but could potentially just be not wanting to risk things this far out from the World Cup. So an early substitute for Wales, no doubt not the game plan. I wonder how this will impact. Yes, so Ryan Elias is off, but that brings on Elliot D from the Dragons. So again, experience for experience. Ryan Elias, 33 caps. Elliot D's got 41. So no loss in experience there, but definitely potentially a change in strategy. And a scrum penalty to England. Potentially collapsing there, so not what the Welsh will want to see. And it looked like number 1 from Wales was penalised. Corey Domachowski there, our debutant. He seems as perplexed as we are all when it comes to scrum penalties. Props claim to know what's going on, but I think no one does. Anyway, it looks like England are going to have a shot at this. So right in the middle of the field, just before halfway, so in Welsh territory, about maybe 45 metres or so. Marcus Smith seems to be lining up. Ryan Elias does seem to be getting some treatment on that right hamstring there. Right, Evan H is saying England look to have a much stronger bench. Interesting, Evan. Let's have a look what my little, research pieces of paper here is telling me. When you say stronger, Evan, if you don't mind popping in the chat again, let me know what you mean by stronger. Do you mean more experienced? Do you just mean general sort of player form? Because having a look, I would say both benches probably have about the same number of caps because you've got 2 debutants for England. Let's just see. Marcus Smith poises to kick. Hoofs the ball towards the back of the field, and it is good. So England take an early lead. England with an early penalty, 7.5 minutes in. Currently 3-0 to England from that scrum penalty. So the English just letting the Welsh know, don't give away too many penalties anywhere in your half, actually. But yeah, Evan, if you don't mind popping your sort of comments there for me, that would be great to see what you mean, because I would say they're probably quite even benches. I mean, you've got the experience of, your George Ford and your Henry Slade, but you've also got Dan Biggar, who's sitting on the Welsh bench, as well as your Thomas Williams and your Nicky Smith, 42 caps. So in terms of caps and experience, potentially quite even. But yeah, tell me what you mean by strength. Okay, the game's got underway again. Welsh kick to the English side, who tried to then box kick out. Poor chase, though, and Wales have regained and found their way in the English half. Nice inside ball there from Costello. Fantastic run from Corey Domachowski, number 1 on his debut. And here go Wales, halfpenny, right, being read like a book. And England winning themselves a penalty there, thanks to the hard work of that man, Joe Marchant. I like Joe Marchant. I think he's a hard worker. I don't think he's terribly exciting, but I think he is definitely a hard worker. So their excellent defense, read it very well, came straight up onto Halfpenny and shut it down immediately. So unfortunately, the Welsh looking like putting a bit of pressure, but England to turn it over. Marcus Smith kicks the penalty all the way, and we are, I think, just on the 22. Excellent work by Joe Marchant, and it looks like actually the penalty was for sealing off the feet. So the Welsh players got there in time, but then just got a bit lazy, really, and dropped where they couldn't hold their own body weight. More experience, I think. More so typical starters, I think. Right, Evan H., thank you very much. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you've got more sort of seasoned starters. Okay, we've got England, on the charge here off the line out. Every time I look down to read some comments, guys, the English are doing something quite exciting, which is rare. Don't give me too much hate for that in the chat, but the English are looking quite good here. Definitely had most of the possession, definitely most of the possession, as well as the territory. They've been down in the Welsh 22 for most of the games. I know it's only been 10 minutes, but the Welsh defense hasn't looked awful. They've looked pretty strong, and hopefully that isn't the commentator's curse. It'll be my first. So Nick Berry reminded them to keep on side. Marcus Smith directing traffic there. Right, the English forwards. Ellis Genge taking it up, getting it back. Forwards again. There we go, Kerr onto the forwards. Dombrand making a run, not making much ground. The Welsh player, Jack Morgan, needs to get out of there. And it's a knock-on. Right. As I said, unfortunately, the English players fall a bit slippery in hand tonight. Who was that? Number 7, Tom Pearson, unfortunately, just potentially trying to snap at it. And instead of letting the ball come into his bread basket. So we will have a scrum deep in the Welsh territory, close to centre field. But the English won't mind that. They did win a scrum penalty in the last one. So potentially not too bad. We've got Reza Bai in the chat there saying, nothing would bring me more joy than an English loss here. Right, well, we don't have to think very hard where Reza's from But yeah, no, Reza, it could very well be an English loss, although they do have a good track record away. As I said, they've won 3 out of their last 4 away games. And the Welsh not doing too well at the Principality at the moment, having only won 1 of the last 8. It's their longest losing streak since 2013. So can they break that? Like they did in 2013, they broke it against England. So here's the perfect opportunity. Mr. Fantastic AJ allowing us, or giving us some insight and saying the pitch gets a bit greasy when the roof is closed. At the Principality, the roof must be closed and potentially things getting a bit humid in the stadium. And that's why the ball being a bit slippery there. Thank you, Mr. Fantastic AJ. Excellent. Here we go. So scrum deep in Welsh territory, about centre of the field. Ref goes to his whistle, and the English win yet again another scrum penalty. I say yet again, it's only the second one. However, big for the start of the game here. Potentially going to dictate things. Didn't quite see what he was giving that for. Nothing's come up yet. But Corey looks over to Kieran, a bit confused. And Marcus Smith is going to take a crack at post here. So having a look, dropping the bind. Yeah, okay. Very clearly there. Kieran Azrati, one of the debutants, drops his bind on Ellis Genge, and it's an immediate scrum penalty. So the Welsh not doing themselves any favour, guys. Not giving themselves the opportunities to get out of their own half. But it has been quite relentless pressure from England. So once again, if you've just joined us, please participate in that poll. Let us know, who do you think is going to win? England, Wales, or is it going to be a draw? As Marcus Smith slots over his second penalty of the night. So that's 2 from 2 from Marcus Smith, with a scoreline of 6-0. England leading Wales 6-0, 13 minutes in. Got some nice discourse going on in the chat, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that engagement. Yeah, let me know what you think score prediction is going to be. I know the poll is just a general win sort of predictor or something, but if you think you've got an eye for what the score might be, put that in, see how close you get. We've restarted. Wales kicking deep into the English half, and the English securing it. Stanley Kerr looks to feed to the forwards, taking it up. And we see Danny Kerr now poising to potentially box kick. So quite a common restart. So from the 3 restarts we've seen England do deep in their 22, it's been a 1 forward crash and then a box kick and a good chase. Ooh, bit of a collision there between 15, so Lee Halfpenny, and 14 of England, Max Malins. So Halfpenny not looking too secure under the ball. It was a good chase by Malins. He's made himself quite a handful. But it has resulted in a Welsh line out just outside the 22. And here we go. Davies feeds, was that North? Quick pick and go there from Rio Dyer. The Welsh forwards pick and go. England players getting a bit squeezed there. Welsh forwards, here we go again. Gareth Davies looks to feed. Once again, forwards. Number 5 from Wales, Will Rowlands takes it up, makes some good meterage. Davies looks out to the backs. Llewellyn not making much ground, not having much to work with though. Davies then feeds. Number 6. Oh, half a gap from Costello off to 16. Our early substitute. It's kept well from the Welsh replacement hooker. Costello inside, lovely ball to North. Costello still going. Everyone kind of just stopped there for a second. But we have Ludlam well over the ball. He's told to release. Davies feeds it out to Louis Samet. Can't find a way through. Davies with ball again. Costello seems to be all in the mix. I think the Welsh would do well. It looks like England are pretty set and they're still playing quite frenetically. Oh, we've got a cross kick from Costello, but it is out on the full. So we go back for the penalty advantage. So possibly our first bit of attacking play from Wales. First couple consecutive phases, not looking too bad. Some exciting stuff. Costello is looking really good. He looks like he can distribute out wide, but play the quick ball back inside. So that was quite encouraging from Wales. So Sam Costello, our number 10. So just 2 caps, I believe, for Wales before this game. Yeah, so plays his rugby out in the Scarlets. But let's see, we've got a Welsh penalty, quite deep into English territory. Just having a look at what the Wales players are deciding to do. Might be going for a scrum here. It would be interesting if it was a scrum. Got Gareth Anscombe there. Camera on to Gareth Anscombe in the crowd. Not in Welsh kits. You can see he's looking mighty awkward. Going to the comments. Oh, yes, fantastic. Jason Wall, thank you very much. We've got our first score prediction. So Jason Wall is thinking 38-24 to England. Okay, so quite a high-scoring game, both sides. But a clear dominance there from England. Jason, we'll check in at the end and see how close you are to getting that correct. Let's have a look. Wow, so Rees are really going for for the English, just like their cricket team. The English can have a moral victory at most. Okay, so Rees is hoping for a moral victory at most for the English. All right, Halfpenny slots the penalty for Wales, bring it back to a 3-point difference. So 6-3 to England at the moment, 17 minutes in. So guys, please, just like Jason did, get your score predictions in. What do you think? So as well as who's going to win, tell me, what do you think? Give me a score line here, or even a difference in points. Take that. All right, England look to restart, going quite shallow, but places it perfectly on the wing there. Wales do well to keep it in. Oh, linesman was a bit confused there for a second, but he put the flag behind his back. Okay, so excellent restart by Marcus Smith, but the Wales did very well to keep that in. All right, the Wales look to play it inside to get a bit more of an angle for their kicker. That is taken, I believe, just outside. Can't hear what Nick Berry's saying, but just on the edge. Davies looks to box kick. And Louis Samet is set off after it. He gets there, but Freddie Stewart so solid under the high ball. I do think Stewart is an excellent 15, especially under those high balls, and he's had a nice probing run earlier, so hopefully you see more of him. Aaron Wainwright should be arrested for that steal because it was filthy. Oops. Number 6 getting in some trouble there, but Gareth Davies making a good run. Okay, up the field. Wales look to reset. Costello giving it out to the backs. But we have Will Rowlands dancing around for a bit, making some good meters. Davis back to Costello, hoofs it up. Welsh gives chase, but dropped, but backwards by the English players who look to reset. Danny Kerr at the base, ready to go. Out to Genge, who thinks about it, takes it in. Brought to ground eventually. Okay, looks to box kick. Still in English half. Max Malins once again making a menace of himself, but much better from Wales under the high ball, taking it securely. Gareth Davies looks, feeds. Oh, nice little offload there by Corey. Wachowski, our debutant, does well to take it in, didn't go anywhere, found the offload. Excellent, shifting the point of contact, allowing for those positive meters to be made. Got someone in the chat asking, how's Smith looking? Yeah, Marcus Smith not looking too bad today. I thought that restart was very impressive. He slotted 2 penalties. He's not had much to do elsewise, though, but the English attackers look quite good, so I can't say that's all up to him. Oh, and looks like Cocknesiga made a drop there under the high ball. So Joe Cocknesiga, unfortunately, not being able to collect that. Big smile from Big Joe. I think the Welsh will be happy about that. He will not be, obviously. Haywood Publishing. Excellent. We got no more scores there. 30-10 to England. Okay, so another favorable result for England. With quite a big margin as well. Evan H is telling 22-17, so much closer. I think England take it at the very end with more impactful substitutions. All right, so Evan is sticking to his substitute theory, which might very well hold water. Sorry, that just looked like Kate Middleton. But it's definitely not, because I don't think she would be behaving like that. That's why my face looked like that for a second. No, we're looking at someone in the Welsh box. I don't know who that is. If you do, drop it down in the chat. Tell me who that elderly gentleman was. But for now, I do not know who that was. And yeah, sorry to Kate Middleton. That was not you. Right, so we set up for a Welsh scrum on the right-hand side of the field, just inside English territory. Hopefully, Wales can get their scrum sorted. They've conceded 2 penalties in the last 2 scrums, which were both their own, relieving huge amounts of pressure off England. And hopefully they can use this as a good attacking platform, but it goes down on the right-hand side. Touch judge comes in, but it doesn't do anything useful. Aaron Wainwright at the back there with a mean stash. He's been quite good tonight. He's made a couple solid runs. He's made a couple solid steals. Always puts in a good performance, Wainwright. Let's see if he can be supported by Jack Morgan as captain, as well as then Chris Juzinga on the right-hand side there at 6. Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic AJ. Thank you so much. Halfpenny's family, wife, and granddad. Okay, excellent. So that was his granddad, and maybe it was his wife who looked like Kate Middleton, in which case, good for you, Lee. All right, out it goes from the Welsh scrum to the backs. Quite exciting. Zammit gets wrapped up nicely, taken to ground. Davies feeds it quickly, but then gets sucked to the next one. Wainwright playing half back. Gets it out to his captain, Jack Morgan, who makes good meterage, keeps driving the legs, not held in a tackle, so he keeps going. Excellent. Davies back and in it. Costello out to the backs. Halfpenny folded a bit. Struggling to make much impact there, Lee. Right, Corey dealt with nicely. The English players being a bit slow to roll, potentially slowing things down. Ref, yes, there it is, the penalty. So penalty to Wales. Costello looks for a little cheeky dab over the top. However, it's dealt with easily by Marcus Smith. So we'll come back for the Welsh penalty. Looked like struggling to roll away. Once again, that man, Tom Pearson. Oh, excuse me. Is that number 2? I kept seeing that as a 7. My bad. That is Jamie Blamire, who's being penalized for not rolling away. So in the tackle, yeah, he gets trapped, unfortunately. Not much he can do, but we've seen people be blown for less. So Rees has given us a 10-point win for England, so not a definite score, but a 10-point margin, but it's going to be scrappy. Potentially, it's not been too scrappy at the moment yet. We are still only 22 minutes in. Evan H saying, hoping Wales find a way though. Yes, absolutely. Me too. But I don't think I can say that as the commentator. Right, so we're out to the backs again, and they're flying a pace. Louis Salmon loses his footing, finds it again. Oh my goodness, just down at the 5. We are at the English 5. Jack Morgan takes it up. That was a fantastic run by Zamet. If he didn't lose his footing, I think he was all the way through there. Gareth Davies collects at the base, gives it to the big men who take it up. Ludlam making himself a nuisance. The ref went to his whistle and then didn't. I think it's Morgan there makes himself, dabs around the corner. Davis looking for someone. Corey takes it, tackled effectively. Ludlam takes him. No, Ludlam's still there. Right, out to George North, who dances this way and that. We've got an offside advantage, so Wales should do something quite nice here. They have the advantage to play with. If this doesn't result in at least 5 points, I think Wales can be disappointed. So come on, Wales, here we go. Yep, Ludlam has stolen that ball really well. Okay, so Lewis Ludlam is a menace around the rucks. Welsh need to make sure that they are sending in support players. So we've been called back for an English offsides. It's a penalty right on the 5, just to the left of the posts. Best attacking opportunity for Wales, and I believe they have signalled for the poles. But that was a fantastic little move here out the backs. Nice inside ball, and again, oh my goodness, had Louis Zamet not been tripped up there, whose hand was that? Okay, it was Jamie Blamire, so he's made up for that, his penalties. He just got there, and that allowed Big Joe Cocknessinger to take him down. Otherwise, Louis Zamet was through for all money. It looks like Wales are going to take the 3 points. I think England will be happy with that. They did look very much like they were going to score a try. All right, we've got the shot clock that's come up. This is something new we are trialing. I say we, they are trialing in the Autumn Nations, the Summer Nation series here. This year moved up because of the World Cup. So we've got 12 seconds left on the clock. And Lee Halfpenny slots it, no problem. So we are all square, 6-6, 25 minutes in. Tell me, guys, in the chat, what did you think? What do you think? Did you expect it to be this close for this long? I mean, it's still 25 minutes, but we are well into the first half. Were we expecting to see more, less? What do you think? Let me know there in the chat. Jason Wall, Wales gets to try this game will open up big time. Yeah, exactly. I thought that too. I thought if the Welsh could find a way through there, I mean, I understood why they went for the penalty, why they went for the poles rather, but I would have loved to have seen a Welsh try. I think the Principality would have lost its mind. That roof would have had to have been opened. Okay, Koslow kicks it upfield, right in smack bang in the center. Smith collects calmly. Here we go. Hard step off the right foot, but we have Llewellyn making an effective tackle. Right, ball being thrown back there, but no one really claiming it. Big men from English clean up nicely. Number 3 from England, Will Stewart making good leg drive. Ellis Genge bouncing off one, running into another, finding a way to get rid of that ball. Right, here we go. Reese's scrappy prediction looking like it's making a head there. Is getting a bit loose from England. I understand trying to get the offload away, but at what cost potentially? Jamie Blow making a good run, but not finding much ground. Danny Kerr moves it to the back and poses to box kick. Sends Big Joe Cocknessinger after it. Big test for Koslow, who knocks it backwards, unfortunately, and out into touch. Probably saw Big Joe coming at him and thought, not today. Fair enough. Fair enough. But Sam Koslow, here we see on the replay again, unfortunately going up, but really good angling his body backwards. So if it does spill out, at least it's going backwards, but out into touch. So we have an English line out. Again, the Welsh just not able to do themselves any favors, really. Right, English line out to number 4 there, David Ribbons. We've set for a maul. Right, line out over. And the ball makes its way to the back. Joe Cocknessinger taking a big run up. Double team Jack Morgan. And I think it was George North there. No, excuse me. It was our replacement hooker, Elliot D. Right, England making their way from left to right across the field, not finding much yardage, looking for quicker ball. But the Welsh defence holding. A bit flat from England. Elliot D's got to get out of there, not blown, that's fine. So phase 7, looking to string some phases together. Can they keep that ball in their hands? Here we go, a bit quicker now. Is that Joe Marchant? Feeding the ball backwards. Okay, out to Smith, steps inside, doesn't find a way through. Danny Kerr at the base. Gareth Davies shooting up, neutralizing the threat quite effectively. It's a good play from England. It's solid. It's nothing too exciting. They're probing for holes, but the Welsh defense is holding solid. Potentially they're looking to stretch the defense. Here it comes, just like this, finds a way through. Joe Marchant steps inside. Excellent tackle there by Lee Halfpenny. England on attack here. Smith looks to feed it to Dombrand, who stops, goes. That's Malins. Keeps the ball alive. Costello there to collect. And the Welsh have done very well to not concede at that point, although they're not out of the woods yet. Morgan at the back of the ruck. Gareth Davies arrives. Here we go once again. Jack Morgan finding himself at scrum half. Not a great ball that. Taken down just before the Welsh try line. Wales will look to clear here, hopefully. Clean exits. England will be disappointed. It was an excellent move off the shoulder of Marcus Smith to Joe Marchant. Gareth Davies clears. And we are not going to play it quickly. So the Welsh get to breathe a bit. Nice. From Dombrand to Smith. Off Smith's shoulder to Marchant. Lee Halfpenny try-saving tackle. Excellent, excellent work there from Lee Halfpenny. But there we go. Some exciting stuff from England. Seems to be just a bit flat, a bit slow, a bit one-dimensional. And then all of a sudden, when maybe the opportunity presented itself, they saw that and attacked it really, really well. So going back to the comments there, let's have a look. We've got both teams have scrappy defense and playing with wet ball. So I think tries will only start as the players get tired. Potentially, we've got, I almost read that as Jesus. I think it's Yassus. Wales play sloppy like this in the World Cup. Australia can only be sitting there rubbing their hands. Okay, so we've got Jason Wall looking forward to the World Cup where Wales and Australia will meet. It is a bit sloppy, but I think not too bad at the moment. 30 minutes in, so well into the first half, 10 minutes to go. We're at 6-6. To be honest, a bit tighter than I would have thought. I thought potentially England might have taken an early lead. But we've got a strong play here and a good platform. So English line to the back. Brandt with Freddie Stewart on the outside, shifts it off to Big Joe Cocknessinger down the wing, who finds a way back inside, and George North expertly plucks that out the air. Oh my word. All right, so almost an English try there. That was, again, quite exciting from England, which we haven't seen for a long time. So nice little play there. Inside, I believe, was that Ellis Genge to Don Brandt, Freddie Stewart out to Joe Cocknessinger, who I thought for all money would have been in from that distance, but was neutralized quite well by two Welsh players here. Who were they? If we can get numbers. Rhys Zammit, the two wings working together. Rhys Zammit and Rio Dyer taking out Joe. Okay, English line out. 5 meters out on the left-hand side of the field. They go to Ludlam, but they overthrow. The ball bounces, well, I said favorably for England, but Aaron Wainwright working hard, securing that ball. So again, England just allowing the pressure to be relieved. Wales lucky to not concede points here, potentially. Nice kick from Davis, deep into Welsh's own half. Joe looking to make up for that miss. He runs straight through David Ribbons there. And the English forwards crashing up. And will look to definitely get points before the half. 9 minutes to go. Joe Marchant dancing in the middle of the field. Danny Kerr feeding Smith out to the right. Smith dummies goes, looks to offload. Oh, had he given that away to to Guy Porter potentially would have been through for all money again. Now coming right to left, we get a view of George Marston's arse. Okay, so we're starting to build here. Phases. Phase 5. Welsh defense holding at the moment, but we've seen the way the English can just crack through at any point. Okay, a little cheeky chip over. Halfpenny collects. He's in his 22. He hasn't called the mark, though. But the Welsh team does well to secure the ball. Gareth Davies pops to the forwards, who undoubtedly will now look to clear through a box kick. So interestingly, on that last English attack there, Marcus Smith was the first receiver, I think, for all three. So they are looking to use him quite a bit. Gareth Davies, big box kick, but doesn't find touch. Allows Freddie Stewart to run it back, who's done well this game. He's just tripped up again by Rio Dyer. Taken down. Now the English will look to attack. Out to Smith, to Marchant. Lovely pass to Ludlam on the wing, steaming down that left wing. Thankfully, Zammit took out his legs before Halfpenny had to take that on himself. Oh, strong run from Joe there, but taken down. It looks like an English penalty. Advantage for what? I'm not sure. Ludlam again making himself known. He's been excellent in this first half. Really, really involved. An English knock-on, but we do have an English penalty. Potentially for offsides. Really nice passes of play from the English. Marchant showing his skills there, skipping a play, getting it out to the wing. Out to Ludlam on the wing. Yeah, excellent run down there. Good cross-cover tackle by Louis Zammit. But it then was an offside. So we've got an English penalty just before halftime, 33 minutes, 34 minutes. If you are England, you're on the left-hand side, you're within the Welsh 22, what are you doing? You've got this penalty, you've got 7 minutes. Do you slot it? Do you go for the corner? We haven't seen much of a rolling maul at the moment, so let me know in the chat, what are you doing? Okay, Jason Walls, help me here. Yeah, you said it correctly. The first, say it like J-sus or Yay-sus, J-sus. We say that here in Ireland. Okay, excellent. So, I mean, here in South Africa, we say Yasus. So interesting you say J-sus. Look at that. But a cultural capital there for me. Okay, Jason's saying corner. Absolutely. I think you've got to do that. And that's what the English do. Excellent. That's an aggressive attitude. You've got 6 minutes to play with here in the half. You've got to back yourself. You've got to back your forwards to see how far they can get you. You're 5 meters out. Good call there, Jason. Yeah, Reza saying corner as well. David Jarvis saying kick for goal. We've got Easy Ollie, England's full B team playing decently. Yeah, the English aren't playing bad. And then as soon as I say that, what happens? That man, Jamie Blamire, not had a cracking first half, though, because we've just got a short arm from the line out. But potentially not his fault there. Couldn't quite see what Nick Berry was indicating. But we've got, again, the Welsh allowing or sort of having the pressure taken off their backs thanks to an English mistake. Okay, so England doing quite well to build that pressure. Some really decent phases of play, multiple phases of play, and then just making silly mistakes. Some unforced errors through knock-ons, but there it looked more like a technicality, which is a real shame. I think the English would have been thrilled. Well, the English definitely would have been thrilled with a try just before the half. But that was their best opportunity. Evan H was saying kick for goal. So David Jarvis and Evan H looking like the smart ones here. Kick for goal, another 3 points. But they didn't do that. And we are now deep into, well, we're just over halfway into English territory. The English have the ball. Danny Kerr digging there just on the halfway mark from the rolling maul from the line out. Hoists it up. Not a great box kick. Joe has to stop, start, waving his arms in the air. But Danny Kerr looks to collect, knocks it on. Gareth Davies collects, but it looks like the whistle has been blown. So not a great kick from Danny Kerr there. Bit scrappy. I think Reza called it early on saying it'll going to be a scrappy game. Some of us in the chat have also said it's going to be a bit scrappy. It does look like a bit of a mess. Right, so Welsh lineouts taken nicely in the center. Jack Morgan breaks off, feeds Wainwright, smashed it up the field, but dealt with quite effectively from the English defense. Davis looks to kick. This just feels very sort of old Bok rugby style. Smash it up once, kick it up the field, and hope we can collect it. But with a man like Freddie Stewart on that side, who is so secure under the high ball, and to be honest, none of the Welsh players really look like they've been threatening him or even close to competing for that ball. I can't imagine why. Corey or Kieran there, you're going to get blown up. No, Nick Berry says you've got time to roll away, so no penalty there. Again, so the English have the ball. I just feel like Wales had it for one phase of play and then looked to kick it away. Again, if they were challenging in the air and actually getting some possession back, fine. But they haven't been. Right, Danny Kerr box kicks us into the Welsh half penny under it. Bit of a collision with Joe. Happy to play on. Ball taken to ground. England come away with it. Seems to be a knock-on. Turnover for England now. So England ball inside the Welsh half just. Out to Smith, deep, looks to cross kick, fakes it, then goes for a deep, long cross kick. It's going to land just outside, but Sam Coslow knocks it forward, but then off an English player. And now we've got some space. No, we're brought back. The whistle goes. So first knock on, unfortunately, from Sam Coslow, and then off an English player. So that is the second time Sam's not been able to gather the ball under the high. Gather high ball, unfortunately. So Smith showing good composure there to dummy first and then go for the cross kick. Yeah, I think Sam's going to be quite upset with himself on that one. Had good protection from Rio Dyer, set himself nicely, just came off the shoulder. So potentially a bit of inexperience there, maybe a bit of pressure showing, maybe a bit of fatigue. We're coming to 38 minutes, closing to the first half. What do we think? Are we going to see another score here before halftime? We're going 6-6 in at the half. Let me know in the chat, which I'm going to check. Something just isn't clicking for the English team. Box aren't much better at the moment, but sometimes the gel just isn't there. Fair enough from Reza Byatt. Easy Ollie, I mean, only George and Stewart are going to start the World Cup from this team. Genge, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Easy Ollie saying there, is that an absolutely Easy Ollie, or do we think there might be an opportunity for any one of these players to work their way into the starting side, or do you feel like all the other positions are locked in? Mr. Fantastic AJ Casella is struggling with the high ball. Absolutely. We've seen those two knock-ons or sort of misfields, which has been unfortunate. I thought he's had a pretty decent game otherwise. Not been remarkable, but there have been some nice moments of play. Reza Byatt, I'm with you, Easy Ollie. But even with the starters, you feel this English side has lacked a distinct playing identity. Fair enough. But to be honest, and I know we're saying this is an English B side, and again, I wouldn't say it's a Welsh A side either, but this English attack has been quite exciting, I think is the word I would use. Moments of dullness, but that's to be expected, building up those phases, potentially moving the Welsh defense left to right, left to right. And when the holes have opened, they have looked quite threatening. Smith has fed through Marchant a couple of times. There have been those holes, Dom Brandt's exposed. So although not an English A side, arguably the most exciting English attack we've seen. Evan H saying, I'm hoping for someone goes for a drop kick by either team just before the half. Wouldn't that be exciting? Albert from Lingen, is the score 6-6? Albert, yes, it is 6-6. And the time has just gone. We've just got a short arm from the scrum. So the Welsh scrum really struggling. They've given away 2 penalties. They've now conceded a short arm. It looked like for early engagement. And no surprise, the English have gone back for another scrum. So we are officially into extra time. 40 minutes and 40 seconds, but the English have called for a scrum. We are in Welsh territory on the right-hand side of the field. England hoping potentially for a penalty here or to score some points just before the half. What do we think? Are we going to get some points? Or are England going to relieve the pressure themselves with an unforced error? So scrum collapses. There it is. Another scrum penalty. England basically with a free play here out to Smith, who feeds George North. Unfortunately, it was very flat, and that line for Marchand looked deadly. I have a feeling, had that ball gone to hand, he was through. He came screaming onto that ball. Out here to Smith. Here we go. Yes, and George North. I mean, at what point does that become potentially suspicious? But Marchand was an excellent line there. Smith, unfortunately, just not being able to get it. So a scrum penalty, the third of the half, and it does look like they are going to the polls. And yeah, going to the polls. So we will see, should he make it? Having a look here while Marcus lines up the kick. Just a reminder, guys, while we have a break, let me remind you that this coverage is sponsored by the global leader in cybersecurity, Bitdefender. So Bitdefender Total Security brings major changes to the way online threats are detected and repelled. The new cyber threat intelligence technology included can analyze and identify suspicious network level activities and block sophisticated exploits, malware, and botnet related URLs and brute force attacks. To learn more about Bitdefender's offering, please click on the link in the description. So Marcus Smith slots the late penalty in the first half, which takes us to 9-6, England leading Wales down in the Principality Stadium. England leading Wales 9-6 at the half. So we've got some chat about Eddie Jones in our chat. We're going to leave that for now. I'll come to it potentially just before we kick off. But guys, what do we think? So first half done and dusted. England-Wales 9-6, a lot closer than I think potentially people would have thought. If you have a look at the score predictions, what do we have as we've got some big margins there. I think the closest was 22 or 21-17. Everyone else by at least 10 points. Do we think it's going to open up in the second half potentially? I must say my thoughts generally, I wouldn't say impressed, but I've been excited by the English's attack. I think there have been good moments that they've shown. They've strung together a few phases of play. I think the Welsh defence has been pretty decent. I think for both sides, set pieces need to be tidied up, especially for the Welsh. I think they have let themselves down in the scrums. I think they will be not happy with that. So there'll be stern words, no doubt, in the changing room. So we need to get that in order, or the Welsh do rather. But I think England will be feeling pretty good. I think they would have felt like just one or two more sort of plays. If one ball had gone to hand, I think they would be a few tries ahead. So having a look at the chat, still chatting about Eddie. We've got Easy Ollie here saying, happy with England performance, stronger Welsh side in terms of their starters. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's correct. Then we've got Yedda coming in from left field saying Ireland will walk with the World Cup. All right, so Yedda getting in there with a complete curveball. But guys, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now, unless anyone's got one last minute chat we want to throw in before we go to the break for the half time. No, okay. Let's see. Okay, we've got Evan H and Albert. Here we go. So I think the score will open up in the 20 or 15 minutes. Wales have a habit of struggling at the very end. We will end on Evan's words of wisdom there. We wait to see if he is the prophet spoken about. But thank you guys very much for joining us here on Forever Rugby with Forever Sports. I'm Wes, and I will see you in just a bit. So hang tight, and we'll get underway with the second half of England versus Wales. Right, how's it, everyone? Back from a bit of a drink, which has been lekker. Hope you are all well rested. Having a look, just wanted to talk through some of the stats that you are seeing up on your screen still. So the score line between England and Wales is England 9, Wales 6. It's a very interesting stat. So 50% on the possession, which I think is an accurate representation of the game so far. The other stats we've got there, though, obviously no tries. As we said, possession is split pretty evenly, although our win probability, so 74% to England, 23% to Wales, and I think 3% of us said there will be a draw. So despite the closeness in the scores, lots of people still feeling that England are going to come away with it. About 74% of you, in fact. So interesting on that poll. I'm curious, if we put that up again, who do you think is going to win? Does that change? Or potentially, maybe we change the question. Do you think the Welsh can mount a comeback? Maybe we'll pop that in. So potentially the poll looks like this. Do Wales mount a comeback? Do England run away with it? Or do we see a draw? So I'll still leave that draw option there. So do we see a Welsh comeback? Do England run away with it? Or do we see a draw? That is our new poll, potentially, for the moment being, unless something drastic happens. We'll have a look at it. But instead, in our other stats, what do we got here? We've got our line-out wins, 3 to Wales, 6 to England. So nothing too drastic there. We will have to see how that goes. Before the players come back onto the field, then lots of chat and lots of conversation happening in the chat here. Yeda really derailing things with his chat about Ireland being called out by Jason. Yeah, I would have to agree with Jason there, but Yeda saying hardly. You know what? Lots of chat about the World Cup, guys. I think that's going to be settled in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to it greatly. But I did want to bring you guys back to the current games here. Scotland-France earlier. Scotland narrowly defeating France. Again, we can debate by the strength of the sides. But I wanted to focus on Xander Ferguson's card. So initially given a yellow card and then given a red. So this, again, is something that we potentially will see in the World, well, we definitely will see in the World Cup. We will see players being given a certain color of card, and that can be reviewed later on in the game and upgraded if necessary. So what do you guys think of that call? First of all, was it a yellow? Was it a red? Let me know what you thought there. And second of all, what do we think about this new system? Do we think it allows play to sort of continue instead of being stopped and having to be reviewed for so long? Yeah, it's quite interesting. I think, to be honest, I'm quite a fan. I think, we clearly see contact with the head. So, we know it's going to be a card, no real mitigating factors. Instead of debating it, where potentially it could have been a back and forth, he was sent off and the review came in and then he was sort of upgraded to the red card. It was very sad, though. He was on his exercise bike there, keeping warm. And the moment he saw the red, he stopped cycling. He thought, that's it. No need to keep warm. Put on his jacket and his day was done. So let me know if you what you think, really. First of all, should it have been a yellow? Should it have been a red? And then what do you think of the new system? I must say, again, that Scottish win is impressive if you look at it from the perspective that they were a man down for a large part of the time playing. But back to the Principality in Cardiff, in Wales, where England lead them 9 points to 6. Was just having a look at some of the facts I had written down earlier in the week at half time here. So Wales in the Six Nations last year were the top offloading side out of all the Six Nations sides. We haven't seen that many offloads from the Welsh. We've seen a couple from England go askew, again, possibly due to that increased humidity with the roof being closed. Freddie Stewart was the top ball carrier in the Six Nations last year with 62 carries. We've seen a couple carries from Freddie Stewart tonight, really one probing carry, which is really exciting. Hopefully, we're going to see more of that this half. So as we get set to go again in Cardiff, 9 points to 6 to the English. What do we think? England going to run away with it? Do the Welsh mount a comeback? Or are we going to see a draw? Be really, really dull if we saw that. Hopefully no one's hoping for that result. The English are kicking off from right to left. Here we go. Marcus Smith gets us underway deep into the Welsh 22. Aaron Wainwright, who had, I thought, a cracking first half, carries it up. A strong carry. The Welsh secure their ball, looking ready to go. And Sam Costello looks to clear, doesn't find touch, finds Max Malins, who makes a strong run forward, but brought down by Llewellyn. Genge, who I thought has quite a quiet game, makes a strong carry forward. Danny Kerr looks to distribute. Ludlam, who's had an excellent first half, makes a carry into the Welsh defence. Marshall looks to feed the backs, but finds the forwards, who get driven back by the Welsh defence. Again, I'm quite impressed by the Welsh defence. They're meeting the English, and they're not losing much ground. And Joe Cocknessinger somehow manages to keep that ball in play excellently. Once again, England looking to build a few phases here. Nothing too exciting. Feeding the forwards, feeding a back who feeds the forwards. But then opens up for something more. So back to Marcus Smith, hoists it up in the air. Stewart does well to knock it back to Joe Marchant, who feeds it off to Ludlam, who's taken down. Danny Kerr looks to feed the forwards. David Ribbons makes a strong carry out to Smith, who again hoists it up down the left-hand side. There we go. Much safer hands from Sam Costello, making a good catch there. He'll be pleased with that. Hopefully feeding his confidence. Gareth Davies calls forward into actions. Here they go. But now looks to box kick. I don't think I'm going to get the chat off the World Cup talk. Back to Sam. Almost a charge down up the field. We kick. Safe hands of Mullins, but well tackled. Was that Reece Emmett? Had a quiet game. 1 or 2 probing here. Rio Dyer, again, not much attacking opportunity for the Welsh wingers. That being said, there's not been much ball in hand. I say that. Possession was 50-50, so not necessarily using their possession. Spilt by Ludlam again. An English knock on Davison. Some broken play here. What does he do? Steps, goes, but taken down by David Ribbons from England. Feeds out. Nice hands. So with some Welsh attack. Step inside. Looks to offload. Again to our Welsh centre, Max Llewellyn. Jack Morgan once again finds himself at scrum half. No, he's been pulled in. So Corey Domachowski, our debutant, is called in to play the role of scrum half. Out to Aaron Wainwright, chopped at the knees. There we go. Gareth Davies finds himself in his regular position then. Okay, so again from Wales, a few probes here and there, nothing comes off, and so they just box kick deep. Zammit gives chase. Stewart finds a way away, but good tackle by Sam Costello. Nice running ball there from Tom Pearson. Doesn't find much ground through. Genge finding ball in hand again, making a strong carry. Danny Kerr looks to feed the English forwards. Jack Morgan makes a strong tackle, stops them in their tracks, and no go forward ball for England. Okay, so we're starting to see some chat about this game. Fantastic. Lots of comments about England will tire. Yet seeming to think that the Welsh have better fitness. Evan H saying still very scrappy, poor passing by both teams. I am with you, Evan. They're not as clinical as we would have expected. But again, potentially that closed roof, high humidity playing in. Who was that? Was that Kerr trying to time his run and not be offsides? He does okay. He disrupts things, not allowing Costello to get the kick off. Quite clever play. Had to time it well. Corey Domachowski taking the ball. Almost a box kick charge down. Knock on by the English. Is that Stewart? Must be his first. But gets up, makes the tackle, keeps pressure on the Welsh side. Lee Halfpenny feeds out Sam Costa, looks at the back. Long pass by Max Llewellyn out to the wing. Rio Dyer, probably the first real touch of the ball we've seen, and he's shepherded out by Joe Marchant and Max Malin. So Rio Dyer looking quite electric, however, not that threatening. Johnny Hill looks like he's making an appearance or looking like he's getting ready. Nice to come onto the field. And while we wait for that substitution, guys, just a big shout out to Boyle Sports. Boyle Sports is our official betting partner for Forever Sports. So do you want to put your money where your mouth is? Yeah, speaking specifically to you, big call with Ireland there. So do you want to put your money where your mouth is? This is good news. Forever Sports has partnered with Boyle Sports as the official betting partner for the channel. Boyle Sports has recently just launched in South Africa, and there's never been a better time to join. Make sure you go check them out and place your bets. The link is in the description. Absolutely. So partner with Boyle Sports as well as Bitdefender. We'll hear more about Bitdefender in just a second as we assess what's going on the field. So we've had a substitution. Johnny Hill has come on. I missed who went off. Apologies. But one of the lock pairings. We've still got 5, so that means George Martin's on. David Ribbons is off. And Johnny Hill is on. Steve Borthwick. Wonder how he's feeling. I wouldn't say England have played terribly. I wouldn't say they've played fantastically. Some exciting moments, but definitely lots to improve on. Scrum goes down. And finally, a Welsh scrum penalty. So the Welsh will be happy with that. Once again, English props looking quite bemused. Kieran Izarati, one of the debutantes, comes up victorious. That's good signs for the Welsh. They were struggling the first half with their scrums. So we kick into the English territory. It'll be a Welsh line out. Here we go. So Kieran Ezerati, Wales test debut, is 26. We feed Wales, secure the ball at the front of the line out. Good, strong driving maul. Penalty for collapsing the maul. Absolutely. But we get the ball out. Nice long pass out to Sam Costa in the backs. Can Lee Halfpenny feed it to Dye? He does, but the English defense is across quickly. So although the ball moved, the English were just as quick. And they are set, and Genji definitely are offsides. Cross kick there to Aaron Wainwright, who collects excellently. Fantastic wraparound offload. The Welsh are down the right. Jack Morgan had 2 players inside him, goes down the middle. Gareth Davies for the line. Wales score a try. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant play. My goodness, I thought Jack Morgan might have cost them there when he stepped back inside. He was down the right-hand wing. I thought he should have offloaded. He did the right thing. That's why he's playing for Wales and I'm not, for a number of other reasons, but fantastic play there for Wales. Nice cross kick there. So Gareth Davies claims that try. Excellent work. So here we see it again, the replay again. Great cross kick from Sam Costello. Nicely collected by Aaron Wainwright. 2 players, gets it round. Jack Morgan dummies, goes out, goes in. Excellent work. Finds it, and Gareth Davies then leg drives for the line. Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Aaron Wainwright, I think for me, is very, not underrated, but just as one of those players who just puts in the work. So bounces one, sucks in another, offloads to Jack Morgan. Excellent work here. Nice step inside. Good leg drive, and Davies works the way. So there we have the kick from Lee Halfpenny, a successful 13-9 early in the first half. Wales score the first try of the game and take the lead for the first time in the game. What do we think about that, ladies and gentlemen? I think it's quite exciting. Let's have a look what we think in the chat. The roof's going to come off in Cardiff. Absolutely. It probably has. Absolutely unreal. England restarts. There that man is again. Wainwright must be feeling pretty good. Takes it into contact. Davies looks to feed. The ball is messy. Wales retain. They clean it up a bit. Davies looks to box kick. Absolutely. I would absolutely put my money on Ireland. Fantastic. You know where to go. Go to Boyle Sports. It's where you can put your money where your mouth is. Cal was saying, whenever England play, I'm ready to be hurt again. Sorry, Cal. Mark Steele, Amazon Prime doesn't want to show any rugby live. I mean, SA. I'm sorry, Mark. That is unfortunate. But thank you for joining us here on Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. We're currently the Welsh lead England 13-9. A box kick from Kerr into the Welsh half. Davies collects to ground and is taken out, but the ball remains. Cameraman has gone off screen because play has stopped. And the Welsh substitutes are coming on in force. Here we go. Waiting for numbers so I can give you names. There we go. So Tane Plumtree makes his debut, number 20. Congratulations to Tane. We've got some other guys. Henry Thomas coming on, number 18. He makes his Wales debut as well at the age of 31. So we've got lots of debutants on. So Henry Thomas, Tane Plumtree, both on off the bench, both debutants. Excellent. Congratulations to them. So the front row is changing. Corey Domachowski and Kieran Azarati come off. A solid 50 minutes from both. Possibly not their best. It looks like Jack from Portfleet is coming on. Yes, he is. So Jack from Portfleet coming on for Danny Kerr in England. So Jack, quite an exciting, quick player. Danny Kerr, I thought, had a good game, good distributor. As I said, lots of chats, has to talk, at least 10 words per second. Otherwise, he spontaneously combusts. But I thought he did well. I thought his kicks were pretty good. Dombrandt off the back of a line out. Goodness. To Tom Pearson, who gets picked up and driven backwards. That was a hard run. England looking to make more solid crashes up the center. But the Welsh defense, once again, holding quite well. And it looked like a bit of a knock-on, but a knock forward again from that man, Tane Plumtree, one of the debutants, almost scooped and scored. Yes, Evan, I thought as well. A lot of subs at one go. I mean, potentially their substituting schedule could have been, wow, fantastic strength was that Jack Morgan in the tackle there. Could have been changed by the injury that Ryan Elias suffered earlier. So maybe there was a strategy there that maybe got upset. But yeah, I think it was about 4 or 5 subs at one time. So we'll see how that goes. 30 minutes left in the game. Great strength there from Captain Jack Morgan as he stops Tom Pearson. But there was a knock-on, a Welsh knock-on, so we'll have an English scrum quite deep in Welsh territory. Yeah, I think Jack Morgan has had a good game as captain. He hasn't had to do much at the moment, but made the right calls. He's played well. He's led by example. Oh, we've got a Welsh scrum, excuse me. So there must be an English knock-on. So Welsh scrum in Welsh territory. Scrum not looking stable. Collapsing on the left-hand side. Jason Wall, Jesus, Boyle Sports is now in South Africa. Big congrats to them. Also, nice one for South Africans as they do great bets and deals. There we go. So not only are you hearing it from us, but you're hearing it from Jason Wall. Thank you, Jason, for letting us know. Yeah, we are very happy to be partnered with Boyle Sports. And it is a fantastic place where you can place your bets, guys. So really, really, really go check them out if you are keen on making a bit of money, doing your best. Okay, so another reset scrum, short arm. Wales go quickly. Gareth Davies feeds it out. George North hasn't seen much of the ball. Gets wrapped up quite efficiently. But outside the Welsh 22 now. Back to Sam Coslow. Charge down. Oh my goodness. Who is that? Number 21 there. Jack from Portfleet. Goodness, he looks quite big. I also think it was him. So Van Portfleet charged it down. Didn't know where the ball was. Thank goodness. He might have collected that, and that could have been very different. So I always get very nervous when the guys take too long to kick the ball. Charge downs seem to be happening more and more often. Now Davis has to work hard. Looks like a deep box kick, almost from their own Welsh try line. Tom Pearson's going to give this a go. Doesn't get there. Gareth Davies does a good clearance. Doesn't find touch, though. Finds Freddie Stewart. Just can't get rid of him. He makes a few probing moves. Van Portvliet there at the base. So the Welsh doing well to drive England back. Down the right-hand side, nice skip pass down to Lewis Ludlam there on the right. Finding himself on the wings, making work for himself, which is excellent. Makes a few meters. Marcus Smith feeds Cocknessinger back on the inside. Smith again feeds Marchant now, who finds a way through, but tackled by Halfpenny and Costello. Oh no, and unfortunately, who was that? Was it Will Stewart? Found himself at scrum half position, went to go pass. Smith was wrapping around, just couldn't adjust quick enough, and it looks like an English knock-on. So the inside ball working well for England. Wales do need to adapt to that. Yeah, it was Will Stewart, unfortunately. Went to go pick up. Smith was wrapping around very quickly and just couldn't find the target. Unfortunate, but looked impressive. Okay, time for England to make some more substitutions. Now we do see Kyle Sinclair coming on, as well as, is it Bevan Rodd there? No, Theo Dan at 16. So debutant for Theo Dan. Congratulations to Theo, 22. Tom Willis comes on. He also makes his debut at 24. So lots of debutants in this game. Congratulations to them all. Excellent work. So Theo Dan is on. Tom Willis is on. And we saw Kyle Sinclair come on. Obviously not a debutant. So what impact can these bench players produce? All right, guys, we have a poll in the chat. Do you think England can come back and win? So we've got, what's that, 26 odd minutes? 26 minutes. Do we think England can come back and win? Pop your answers in the poll. Let us know. Part of my research I was doing earlier this week found that between these two sides, I think in the last 7 games, the team leading at halftime goes on to win. England were leading 9 points to 6. Wales have taken an early lead in the second half, but I wouldn't say it's convincing, not by any means. So can we see a comeback from the English side? Do we see Wales grind out a victory? I think there will be massive parties in Cardiff tonight. We see some more Welsh substitutes getting warmed up on the sideline. We saw Thomas Williams there getting warm. We see, I want to say Dan Biggar. There's no number on the back of his jersey. Yeah, it must be Dan because Sam Costello is coming off. That is indeed Dan Biggar with no number on his jersey. Right, Sam Costello comes off. I thought not a bad performance from him. I thought he doesn't look too chuffed with himself. I think a few knock-ons here or there, he'll want to tighten up. But let's see. I think Wales are now thinking, hang on a minute, actually, let's get this one in the bag. Let's bring on Dan Biggar, maybe a bit more experience. Gareth Davies also comes off as well. And obviously Thomas Williams then comes on to replace. So lots of replacements for Wales. Here we go. Williams on, Davies off, Biggar on, Costello off. Another scrum penalty to Wales. They will be chuffed with that. Sinclair not too happy, but when is he ever? Don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, please smash a like button on this video as well to subscribe to the channel. If you feel like doing more than that, please do become a member. So the more members we have, the more games we can cover, the more sport we can cover. Right, Wales go for the long kick, but don't find touch. However, Looks like either a knock-on or someone's foot was indeed in touch. Okay, Max Malin's doing the most, jumping while he was out in, but causing a bit of a knock-on. So unfortunate, but good effort by Max. As I was saying, guys, become a member. So here we go. Welsh, line out to the backs, bigger feeds. Wainwright, good strong run. Secured. Thomas Williams all the way back, hoists it up. Bigger does. Good chase by Dyer, a bit deep. Malins calls the mark. Malins takes it quickly and kicks it out. So it looks like we are still in the English half. Malins is a bit confused. And Digger's now doing all the talking, not Digger. Right, Rio Dyer, that was a good chase. That was probably the best kick chase Wales have had, most competable. Welsh line out to Thomas Williams, to Bigger. Strong run by Llewellyn. We haven't seen much of him. Williams feeds Bigger, takes it himself. Williams feeds Wainwright. Not Wainwright, excuse me, number 18, Henry Thomas. Bigger, once again, dummies and goes. Much quicker from the Welsh at the moment. Substitutes having an effect. It's good. Trying to see the impact. Looking a bit tidier, but also a bit more frenetic. Good pass from Bigger. Here we go again. Chip through. Re-Sam it. Lee Halfpenny collects it, gives it to George North. Screaming for it on the inside is Thomas Williams. Where are the support players? Jack Morgan crashes it up, hangs onto it. Wales are looking quite threatening here. Bigger screaming throughout the back. Wainwright finds himself dancing around the right-hand side. Here come the Welsh. Thomas Williams, indecisive. Picks and goes. Pick and go around the corner again from the forwards. They look to smash it up. Is this the right call? Can Wales extend their lead? The English defence clustered around the ruck. Inches away from the try line, surely. George North collects, steps inside and scores. Wales have their second try, the second try of the game. George North, arguably, so someone's got to finish it, but excellent try. Phase 14. Okay, so there we go. Fantastic play from the Welsh and putting points on the board. Excellent work from them. Some really exciting stuff. The English defense just seemed a bit nowhere, to be honest. But there we go. 18-9 with the kick to come. Excellent work. Nice little probing kick from Bigger down the sideline. Louis Samet stepping on it a bit further. Halfpenny collecting, giving it out wide. Good picking out here. And North cutting back hard on the inside. Was that Van Portfleet shot up out the line, just finding himself a bit in no man's land. Halfpenny take the conversion. What are we saying in the chat? Mr. Fantastic AJ. Whoop. Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Evan H. George North finally given the ball. Indeed. Wales win the We Beat England trophy. Well, maybe not yet. Still 20 minutes to go. I think the Welsh will be very happy with any win, especially at home. Here we go. We've got here Megan Bassan, England and Ireland and South Africa all win in today's games. Okay, fantastic. So we've got a bit of prediction there. So England, you were saying, are going to win this game, even though they are down, Megan, right? 20-9. Conversion successful. Oh, George Ford has taken the field. So Smith has come off. Ford is on. So a bit more experience in our fly half positions. This has to be the last Welsh substitution, surely. It just feels like they're endless. Number 23, indeed it is, Mason Grady comes on. KR28 GTAV saying, I can't see show the game. Unfortunately, we can't show the game directly due to copyright, but you are welcome to follow along with my voice, or there are a number of ways you can watch it online, but I will do my best to narrate and keep you up to date. So 20-9. 20 minutes to go. The Welsh are leading England. In the Principality, in Cardiff, in Wales. Ref, that was not straight, sir. Anyway, we play on. The Welsh have it. Jack Morgan making a screaming run up the centre. He's played out his socks today, I think. Here we go. The Welsh are on the attack. They want more. They are hungry. Good momentum. The English defence looks a bit scrambling. Definitely a big difference between the two sides. I feel like the Welsh defence a lot more secure. Right, we feed it out. Thomas Williams from left to right. Looking to go back to the left now. Takes it himself, looking, probing. Who's there? Lovely offload to Wainwright. Out the back door. Mason Grady. Oh my goodness, Mason Grady almost had the biggest impact, I think, in the quickest amount of time any substitutes ever came on. He picked and went, and he just kept going. I think Genge managed to just keep him out there. My word. So Aaron Wainwright, lovely. Here we go. Mason Grady picked and went. Handed off one, handed off two, and it was actually, I believe, no, Genge was left wanting big time. Oh, great. Oh, no, oh, my word. Way too close for English comfort. Yeah, here we go. See, the English need a strong talking to because this is what they do, guys. Let me know if you agree in the chat. They do tend to drop their heads a bit. All is fine and well if things are going their way, but then when the attitude starts to go, heads start to drop and the play becomes a bit scrappy. So what do we think? Let's have a look. Gatland has had an impact with the boys. Much better. Just need to organize our defense. A bit more stopping the line breaks. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Fantastic AJ. I think out of the two sides, I back the Welsh defense. I think here, lovely little break from Thomas Williams. Lovely offload to Aaron Wainwright. Again, Wainwright, that man, finding himself in the right position, doing the hard work. What have we got? Evan H saying here with substitutions, England have lost all defensive structure. I agree. I think the English defense is looking porous. Lots of holes for the Welsh to probe. So let's see if they can take advantage now. I do think if the Welsh score another try, I think English heads will drop even further. I'm not saying it's done, but it is looking quite precarious for the English fans. If we do have English fans watching along, guys, let me know. What do you think? England mounting a comeback? I believe we still have a poll going. Cast your votes there. Are we going to see an English comeback? Or do we think Wales is running away with it? What do we think? So we have an English line out deep in their half on the 5 meter. They will look to drive. Okay, the English have done well here. Wales mounting some sort of stoppage. But there we go. Okay, so the English have done quite well. And the English come away with a penalty. Jack Morgan, unfortunately, finding himself on the wrong side of a ruck. Deemed to be killing the ball. And George Ford kicks us up the field. Although not very far. It looks like still an English half. So another English line out. Theodan throws, and the Welsh compete and pick it. Jack Morgan once again carrying up Thomas Williams, looks to feed the forwards, shifts on. Oh, Dan Bigger judged that little tip on pass there to have just been forward. I feel like Wales are playing with a bit more freedom now. It's going to sound weird what I'm going to say. There seems to be more structure with Bigger and Williams, but there does seem to be a bit more freedom in what they can do. Potentially that comes with leading. Maybe you feel like you've got more options to do certain things. So lineouts lost, really interesting stats just come up, 4. England have lost 4 lineouts, Wales have lost 0. So that's really interesting because actually England were the most successful lineout team in the Six Nations last year, winning 90% of their lineouts. So clearly something needs to tighten up there. Again, I know we could argue that potentially this isn't the English A side. However, you should not be having that big of a drop-off where your A side's winning 90%, and here they've lost 4 lineouts. The Welshmen will be very happy with their scrums, or at least in the second half and towards the end of the first. They've made a good comeback. So we've got an English scrum. 63 minutes gone, 20 points to 9. Wales leading England in Principality. Having a look at our comments. Dave Davey says England have a poor record in Wales. Oh, and that looked like a short arm and then a long arm penalty. So another scrum penalty goes to England. So as I said, the Welsh will be happy with their scrum. I spoke too soon. But Dave Davey saying England have a poor record in Wales. That they do. However, they've won the last 3 out of the 4 away games. So they would have been feeling pretty good. As well as the Welsh not winning that many in the Principality. I think they've only won 1 out of the last 7. 1 of the last 8 at Principality. However, in 2013, they did break that losing streak against England. So can it be done again? What do we think? Can the Welsh break their losing streak? Again, another line-out stolen by Wales. So 5 line-outs. The substitute, Theo Dan, the debutant for England, the replacement hooker, struggling to find his mark in the lineout. Thomas Williams clears with a deep box kick, given good chase. But Joe Cockanasinga says, I'll take that and you sit down. Thank you very much. Jack Van Port feeds out to the back. George Ford feeds the back line, and it's another knock-on. Wow, uncharacteristic, I would say, but characteristic of English's performance in this game. Tend to look threatening. String a few phases together. Cockanasinga needs a new jersey because that is ripped. But it looks like he might be coming off, actually. Strong run. He sits Rio Dyer down. That's just an unfair matchup. But Dyer does well to get back to his feet, makes the tackle eventually, and slows down Big Joe. I mean, that's sometimes all you got to do is just slow someone down. That's all your job. Fair enough. Props to you, Rio. Okay, handling errors. Such a telling stat here, guys. So handling errors, 14, England, Wales, 2. You cannot get much momentum and go forward ball and stringing phase together and mounting pressure if you are having that many handling errors. Right, can Wales hold their own at scrum time here? It looks like no, but they get the ball out. Thomas feeds bigger, feeds Llewellyn, feeds bigger. Weird chip across. Again, was that necessary? Knock on by England, though. So again, Wales will breathe a sigh of relief. Maybe not the right call by Bigger. I don't know if he was going for a cross kick or felt like the defense came up too quickly. George North looking large. But yes, let's see. Okay, a bit of a break in play. So as we have a break in play here, it might be a good time to chat to you about another cool feature of Bitdefender's offering. So regain control over your own devices with Bitdefender's microphone monitor. Use it and you can see what apps have access to your device's microphone and when. If you want to learn more about Bitdefender's microphone monitor, then please click on the link in the description in the chat, guys. We are sponsored. The channel is sponsored by Bitdefender. So go check out if you are worried about which apps have access to your microphone. Bitdefender's microphone monitor can help you out there. Okay, Yetta giving us some interesting information here as Wales win a scrum penalty. So it'd be interesting to see the number of scrums that go to completion. But before I was interrupted by the penalty, Yetta was saying that Wales players know each other from club rugby. So they play together, much better together as a pack. And absolutely, a lot of them do play for the Scarlets or the Dragons or Cardiff. So generally, yeah, they're going to be more familiar with each other. And again, we could argue that potentially this English side, not the A side, but that's not what it says on the score sheet. It says England. It doesn't say England A or England B. But definitely, yeah, they could potentially play a role into the cohesiveness. Okay, so Wales will win a penalty at scrum time. The ball is kicked deep into English territory on the left-hand side. Wales win the line out and go to a maul. England mount defence. The maul surges. George North finds his way into the maul. Thomas Williams at the back, ready to deploy the ball. It's still moving forward. It's turned around. There's the ball. And the English have done well to suffocate that. So although it seemed to be available, the English players suffocating it, not allowing the ball to come out, and therefore turnover to England. Unfortunate, could have been a good attacking opportunity. Feel like the ball should have gone just a bit sooner. Difficult to tell. These are often such touch and go moments. But Pearson, they're doing really well to fall on that ball, smother it, not allowing it to come out easily and turning over. So Tom Pearson, a debutant for England, doing really well. And we see Henry Slade come onto the field. So probably one of England's last substitutes. Indeed, player 23. Here he comes. And he comes on for Cockney-Singer. And Marchant... No. Does he? Well, I'll tell you guys when I know. Here we go. Okay, so Genge is off, Rod is on, Slade is off, and Max Malins is off. There we go. So Cockney-Singer stays on the field. England using their final substitutes. So we have Rod, Bevan Rod, number 17, finds his way onto the field, as well as Henry Slade. So all substitutes deployed. 12 minutes left, and a deficit of 11 points. Wales leading England 20 points to 9 in Cardiff. Do we think there is a comeback on the cards? What do we think, guys? Let me know in the chat. So those score predictions. Anyone want to update their score predictions? Scrolling up in the chat, I saw earlier we had some sort of 38-22s. We had a 10-point difference. 22-17, I think that was still the closest, but still to England. So if you haven't already, let us know your score predictions. You've got 12 minutes left, so it's not as fair. You know, the guys earlier on were much earlier in the game, but let us know your score predictions with 11 minutes left now. What do you think? What is the final score of this Summer Nation Series clash down in Cardiff going to be? England feed a scrum. Dom Brandt picks and goes. Fights his way, makes good meters. Not Dom Brandt, excuse me now. Tom Willis. Tom Willis from Portfleet feeds Sinclair. Tom Pearson being told to help extend the box kick from Portfleet. Long box kick upfield, collected by Dyer. Right, gets a good strong run, but sort of caught, doesn't go anywhere. Wainwright, lovely run by Wainwright. Brought down by Rod. Bigger hoists one up. Just a bit too short. Player stopping, starting. Freddie Stewart solid under the ball. Collects it easily. Possibly, again, not the best call from Bigger. Not the best option. Rod, first carry of the game. Strong carry. Van Portfleet digs it out of a slow ruck and looks to box. Exits, completable. Again, not the furthest. Excellent take from Dan Bigger. It's really solid under the high ball. Thomas Williams feeds. Out we go. He fed there. Ben Carter made a good strong run. Williams feeds Nicky Smith. Thomas Williams. Small pop to the forwards. Jack Morgan there to secure. Now looks to box. Okay, so a few more phases from the Welsh. Fakes the box. Bigger. Hoist the cross kick across. Rio Dyer is there, but again, no real competition. They're close, but not quite finding themselves in the right position. Thomas Williams decides to try and give that a counter. Doesn't make much movement. Van Portfleet feeding Sinclair. Driven backwards. A little bit of a counter. Wainwright making a mess of himself. Right, 8 minutes to go. 9.5. Box kick. Again, Messi. Oh, it's picked up by Thomas Williams. Oh, my goodness. Thrown out the back door a bit recklessly. It finds its way into Thomas Pearson's hands. England on the charge now. The Welsh defense reset quickly, though. Van Poortvliet looks to feed. Forward feeds inside to Rod. And the Welsh have managed to turn it over. First player there. I don't know who it was. Managed to turn it over. So Wales breathe a sigh of relief. Hands are on knees, though. Right, the Welsh forwards take it up a few meters. Trying to slow things down. Thomas Williams looks to clear. You're really fortunate there for Wales. Could have easily been a breakaway try. Not the best box kick. Everyone just kind of stops and starts. Distance on the boxes haven't been that great. Oh, brilliant run, but he knocks it on. Here we go. Counter on. Surely a little chip through and set Louis Rees-Zammit free, but no. And knock on from England. But a knock on from Wales. Unfortunately, Mason Grady there. Potentially, bit of white line fever. But a strong run and a hard play. Right, Martin Sherry in the chat saying Wales look like they will win. I agree, Martin. With 7 minutes to go, 11 points the difference. Potentially a Welsh win on the cards here. What else have we got here? Handling errors are increasing, Evan. Absolutely. We can talk about the humidity in the stadium. We can talk about that greasy ball, but you've got to adjust, right? You have to make those adjustments. I would also say that the ball is greasy for both sides, and I think England have something like, is it 15 or 16, maybe higher now, handling errors, and the Welsh at the time the stat came up, it was 0. So the ball is greasy for both sides, so it can't just be that. It's damp and slippery. Krampus, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you, but how are Wales able to hang on to the ball or have at least significantly less handling errors? So, there's that. We've got Ignite Ethan. I'm from South Wales. The Valleys. Higher Ignite Ethan. I'm sure you're enjoying this. Undoubtedly so. Still 7 minutes to go, but better this scoreline than others. Yeah, guys, chuck in the chat. Where are you from? Where are you watching from? Where are you joining from? Alan Robinson, score prediction here. We've got 20-16. We've got Yeda 23-16. Evan 23-16. Wales holding out. What else? So we've got some score predictions. Let me know. Promote saying hi. What is the score, please? The score is currently 20 points to 9 to Wales. So a couple of us think Wales will get another penalty and then potentially a try from England. So England have not scored a try yet. It's been 3 penalties from the boot of Marcus Smith. Wales have scored 2 tries. So arguably, looking a bit more threatening. The English attack was quite exciting in the first half. I think in the second half, it's fallen away somewhat. I don't feel like it's been as probing. But the Welsh defense, I must say, has been impressive. Even on the scrambling defense there, when the English were charging up the field, they got into formation really quickly. So I am impressed with the Welsh defense. Joining from Barry, fantastic. VR vids, excellent. Been to Barry, actually. So hiya. Melbourne, Australia. Evan, how's it going? Fantastic. Let's have a look. Martin Sherry, Wales did all that army training with waterboarding. Oh my goodness. Is that true? Birmingham, Alabama. Kind of late to the game. No worries, Christopher. Thanks for joining. So 7 minutes left. Pop your predictions in the chat. Welshman listening in from Tampa Bay, Florida. Thank you for providing the service. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. I'm not even going to try the Welsh there. But diolch yn fawr iawn. I tried. Oh, here we go. Down the field. Louis Rees-Zammit. My goodness, I was too busy in the comments. What on earth happened there? All right. I'm going to try and recap that. The crowd seems absolutely shocked, as am I. Louis Rees seems to think he's scored. This is what I was wanting to see most of the game. When you've got speed like his, we're going to the TMO. We're going to check potential grounding, but this could be huge. What do we think? Is this the final nail in the coffin if the Welsh score here? So while we wait for the TMO, just a reminder, it's currently 20 points to 9. We've got 6.5 minutes left. Just waiting for the replays. Potentially a Welsh score here, guys. This might be the end of England's chances. We've got people watching in from Cardiff. Wales win. Fantastic. People from Spain. All right, here we go. So Louis Rees-Zammit makes the dive. Oh, my goodness. I mean, there are fingertips on that ball all the way. But is there separation? This is literally a matter of millimeters. So just waiting to see the decision. It looks like he's saying there's separation, which would be a knock-on, which would be a shame. But hopefully we'll get a chance to see it again. So there's separation from his left hand, but if you look at his right hand very carefully, I would argue that there are fingers on that ball all the way, but I feel like it might be a bit too close for them to give. I think he's saying there's a knock-on and a separation. Very unfortunate, but I do feel like Louis Rees-Zammit's been underutilized with his speed. Maybe, again, the opportunities haven't been there to kick the ball forward, get them downfield, but let's see what our referee, Nick, is going to determine and say. No try there, unfortunately, for the Welsh. Louis Rees-Zammit is understandably very upset. He feels like he got there. To be fair, I thought it was a try. Absolutely stunned out of nowhere. The crowd were completely shocked. Biggers going up and putting hands on the ref in non-threatening way. Let's not have another Johnny Sexton here. Okay, here we go. So it went big around to Thomas Williams. Williams to Zammit. Zammit himself kick and chase down the wing. Excellent play. Oh, my goodness. Again, looking here, I mean, you could argue that he was impeded before. Okay, and we're off quite quickly. So England looking to clear out of their goal line. Looked like a Welsh knock-on into touch, so we'll probably have an English line-out. Excellent piece of play there from the Welsh. And again, that individual brilliance from Louis Rees-Zammit. Oh, again, that replay makes me think it looks like a try. Oh, Zammit kicking the post, not happy with the decision. Understandably so, very upset. I would be too. Running all that way and then not getting rewarded. Yep, that close. Okay, the fans know it. But still in a good position here, Wales. England are the ones who need to be a bit worried. Guys, do we think it's too late? Do we think it's too late? 20 points to 9. 75 minutes gone. 5 to go. Can England mount some kind of a comeback? Even if it's not a win, I feel like England have to try and score a try. I know it sounds really obvious. But I think for their morale, for their confidence, they would want to come away with at least scoring one try. Right, solid run there from the replacement, Tom Willis. Off the line out. Van Portfleet looks to feed Sinclair. Sinclair goes. Dealt with easily. Ruck secured. Happened B78YT says too late. I probably agree with you. Louis Rees tackled, arm slipped, but it is a knock on to England. I would have thought that looked like an arm slip there on the high tackle, but it was a solid tackle from the English. Lewis Ludlam, who I think has had an absolutely stellar game. He was everywhere in the first half, a bit quiet in the second, but I thought he had a really good performance. That man, Aaron Wainwright, Jack Morgan, my tongue getting tired. Wainwright had a fantastic game. Pearson's been busy as well. Actually, all the loose forwards. I think Dom Brandt was a bit quiet at number 8. We haven't seen much of the number 6 Welshman, Chris. He's not been, or he wasn't really very obvious. Maybe one of those quiet workhorses just putting in the yards. 3.5 minutes left. English scrum just on the halfway, just in an English half, and collapsed. That is one area of the game I think has been pretty poor on both sides, is the scrummaging. Both sides have conceded numerous penalties, but we've only seen a couple scrums go to completion. It would be very, very interesting to see that stat. Eyes on Sam Costello, the starting 10 who is off at the moment. Thought he had an okay game, but shaky under the high ball. But the man of the match is Jack Morgan. The Vodafone player man of the match is Jack Morgan, the captain for Wales. I think that's fair. I think he's had an excellent game. For me, it's really between him and Aaron Wainwright. I think they've both had excellent games. What about you guys? Let me know. Who would be your man of the match? It can be a Welshman. It can be an Englishman. Who would you have as man of the match? Mine probably would be Wainwright, just because I've also played number 8 back in the day. So a bit of a soft spot. Okay, we've got a messy scrum. Hoofed forward. Downfield. Halfpenny scoops. Clears. Not hugely, but does well under pressure. Okay, so really messy scrum there, spurting out the side, hoofed down the field, and Lee Halfpenny gains. So what do we think? Who is your man of the match? Can be a Welshman, can be an Englishman. Mine is Wainwright. The official man of the match is Jack Morgan, who I think also had an excellent game. English line out here. Look, good. The English are still hungry. They want to score. Can they score before the end of the game? 2 minutes left while the line out resets. Let's see. We've got so great to see us start showing some form. Probably not England's top team, but a win is a win. Absolutely. I think Wales will definitely take this win. Again, I'm not going to try that Welsh. I tried it earlier. I didn't do very well. Right, English lineouts. The English are able to secure the ball. Are they, though? I say that. Yes, they are. Bit scrappy, but good to see England still fighting right to the last minute. Sinclair takes it up. Van Portfleet feeds. Willis. Strong run by Willis. Strong runner. There goes Theo Dan. And the ball comes out to the backs on the left-hand side. Strong tackle by George North. Also had a good game. Not done much on attack, but fair enough, he wasn't given the ball. When he was, scored a try. Van Portfleet feeds Lewis Ludlam again, who I think's, if I was to pick an English man of the match, it'd probably be Lewis. Right, the English still have the ball. George Ford wraps round. Out to Freddie Stewart. Excellently tackled by Mason Grady. Oh, 3-man tackle there. Shut that down really quick. Lewis Ludlam probes. Sorry, Van Portfleet probes. They're held up. It's a maul. They got it down. Well done by the English, excuse me. Well collected off the ground there. Difficult pass. There's a bit of a knock. Ref, you didn't see what happened before. Okay, so ref looked away. I think Morgan pounced, thinking the ball was out. Not Morgan, excuse me. One of our subs here. Maybe a bit too eager. Tane Plumtree trying to do too much. Right, the English kick for the corner. They're about 8 meters out. Fair play to Wales, never too late. Having a look at the comments here, guys. With time officially expired, this is England's last shot to score a try. They go to 19, middle of the line out. The maul is set. Welsh defense looks strong. Van Portfleet there, ready to give. And the ball is out. He probes. Malins tries to spin, doesn't go very far. Feeds another forward. There we go. Willis again with a big, strong run. Driven backwards this time. The ball is spilled loose. It is knocked on, kicked out of play. That is the game. Game over. Well done to the Welsh, beating England 20 points to 9 in the Principality in Cardiff in Wales. Excellent work. My goodness. All right, so the English look understandably upset and defeated. I think, to be fair, probably a fair result. If we look at the play in the first half, I think that both teams were very, very tight. I think England deserved to lead the first half. However, the second half, the Welsh came out in a different gear. I think that first try caused the English heads to drop a bit, and the second try just furthermore. The English defense, I think Ethan said it in the chats earlier. I think the substitutes came on. English defense didn't look like it was anywhere. Also, the English attack just seemed to stop existing. I mean, I couldn't shut up about the exciting English attack in the first half, and we saw none of that in the second. You know, in the first half, we saw a couple phases from the Englishmen, playing, nothing too exciting. And when a hole presented itself, Smith identified and put someone through. Second half, I can't really point to any examples of that happening. The Welsh attack, potentially not the best. I just think, you know, they took advantage of a poor English defense, which again, you know, you got to play what's in front of you. Okay, so even as Evan, is saying nap time before watching the Springboks, absolutely. We've got some more Welsh in the chat. I really wish I could read that, but you know, hopefully it means congratulations and well done. Yeah, I think really well done to the Welsh players. Just like in 2013, they ended their losing streak at home against England. They've done it again here. So what does this say going forward? I think, you know, we can't read too much into it. We've all acknowledged the both sides being quite experimental, especially from an English side. You're missing a lot of big players there. However, I think England would have been looking to win this one, given the form and the drama that's been in the Welsh camp. I think England would have really backed themselves to win it. I know Steve Borthwick would have really liked to win, but I'm sure Gatlin is ecstatic as well. Congratulations again to Lee Halfpenny. Excellent work winning his 100th cap. I mean, what a game to do it in as well. You know, at home, winning in front of the home fans. So congratulations to Lee and to all the debutants. I mean, we had, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Welsh side, 1, 2, 3 on the English side. So 5 debutants. 8 debutants in total. Really excellent work. Okay, right. Anyway, everyone, we've got some more chat there. I'm just having a look here. Ireland on in 25 minutes. Can't wait. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, there is more rugby to come. We've got the Springbok Argentina game, as well as Italy-Ireland. It's all very exciting. So don't go anywhere. You can catch all the rugby on Forever Rugby here on Forever Sports. Let me know, guys, in the chat, what do you think? Your last little chat before I go, what do you think? Do you think the scoreline is a fair representation of the game? Or do you think potentially England were a bit hard done by? I don't think so. I think it sort of represents it quite accurately. Anyway, that is going to be all from me. My name is Wes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Forever Rugby, on Forever Sports. But don't go anywhere. Still lots of rugby tonight. You'll catch me on more fan forums, as well as hopefully doing some more commentary and watch-alongs with you guys. You've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for engaging so much in the comments. It's been excellent following along. I've got to find a better way. I feel like I missed a bit of the game there, especially almost missed Louis' try. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Right. Congratulations to Wales. Congratulations to Jack Morgan. An excellent captaincy run there, as well as man of the match performance. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name's Wes. And have an awesome rest of your time.